Lesser invoking ritual of the Pentagram. No, it's not a six-pointed star. It's the lesser invoking ritual of the Pentagram. That's a 5. Penta means 5. 5-pointed star. You could do it two ways. It depends on how you do the lesser banishing ritual of the Pentagram. If in every direction you start from the left hip and go up to spirit, then down to the right hip, left shoulder, and back down the left hip, then the invoking would be just the exact opposite. From spirit down to the left hip, instead of left hip up to spirit. You're invoking the alchemical elements inside of you and equilibrating them. The banishing is banishing excess alchemical energy that you have. That is, it's not balanced, so it's overflowing and it's too much, so you banish it. That's what that. It's a purification ritual that you do as a zealotor or a neophyte to equilibrate your alchemical elements and banish all the bullshit that you have going on and all the karmic shit, debris in your auric field, because it works on your subconscious, it works on your aura, it works on your etheric body, it works on your soul, it works on your spirit, you know. But after you have been banishing for quite a while, you don't need to banish every day. You need to invoke, bringing more energies in. It's like a cup. Set a cup underneath the nozzle of the sink and just let the water run. You're invoking water into the cup. What happens when it gets to the top? It overflows, you're still getting new energy into the cup and old energy is going out. You understand? So you are invoking alchemical energies into yourself that even if you don't need to use, it doesn't matter because it'll just dissipate out of you. So there's another way to do the lesser invoking ritual of the Pentagram, and that is drawing towards the elements like on your body. So your left shoulder is air. Your right shoulder is water. Your right hip is fire. Your left hip, earth, spirit. So if you're standing in the east, it's going to be air. You're going to draw a pentagram going to the left, from your right shoulder to the left shoulder, down to the right hip, spirit, left hip, and then back at the right shoulder. Envisioning it in yellow, saying the same God name, like Yod He Vav He. And that's how you would invoke air in the east. Fire is from spirit down to the right hip, Adonai. Water is from the left shoulder to the right shoulder. Envision the fire pentagram in the south as red. Envision the The water one is blue in the west and come from the left shoulder into the right shoulder. Hey, north, Agela, and you, just like I said, if you do the same, if you trace the same pentagram in every direction, I advise you to do this. You start at the top of the head and come down to the left hip. That's invoking earth. But if you've been banishing earth this whole time, start invoking earth now. As far as the angels go, the LBRP is a strange ritual because it's a banishing ritual, and then there's an invocation at the end of the elemental angels. There's so much commentary, which is basically analysis, written all over the internet on the pentagram rituals. It's all super interesting, but basically the LIRP is an invocation of the alchemical elements that you've been banishing this whole time. Usually through the Zealot or Neophyte grade, you would just be doing the LBRP. And you would also just be doing the LBRP, tracing it in that certain way that everyone's taught. When I started doing it, I didn't like that because if you look at a pentagram and you look at every fucking magic book there is, it tells you on the top left wing or angle of the pentagram, it's air. Top right is water. Bottom right is fire, and bottom left is earth. So like almost instantly when I started performing it, I was like, this isn't right. So I think it's a personal thing. It's however you feel, but I don't do this in every direction usually. I will sometimes because it's just the egregore and the power of so many people over the millennia doing the same exact fucking thing. It has an egregore attached to it. So you're not banishing just earth, you're banishing all the elements doing that. Because it's wrong, technically, but it's right because so many people have put their trust and belief into that. You see, it becomes an egregore. And you, with the invoking, you still call the angels at the end. In some texts, you'll see that the author will say like you have to do the LBRP before the LIRP in ritual. You don't. You don't. But it would probably be advisable for like the first couple weeks that you're doing it to banish the etheric field around you. So do the LBRP before you start invoking. Like you do the LBRP. I don't call the angels. What I do is I do this to start the less, like after I do the LBRP, I don't do the Kabbalistic cross and I don't call the angels. I do this. And then I start the LIRP. And at the end of the LIRP, I call the angels and end it with a Kabbalistic cross. What I just did was kind of like it is a gesture of protecting and closing your etheric field. So, and then you're breaking it open with the invocation. With the hexagram rituals, you're drawing a 6-pointed star, hexagram, and you're drawing it in various forms. Like, the hexagram is 2 triangles, one pointing up, which is masculine, generative, and it's fire. And then one pointing down, which is blue, water, receptive, feminine. It's the coming together of opposites and the magic of ending duality through dissolution and then unification. That's what that, represents. Kind of, it represents but it represents so many things. But I say that it's 2 triangles to say this, that there's different forms that you trace. It's not just the one with a triangle pointing up, and then in the middle of that is the triangle pointing down, which connects, and it makes the regular Seal of Solomon, or the Israeli fucking Judaism star, the Star of David. That is just one form of the hexagram. The form that you would perform in the East, you would trace both triangles pointing upwards. The one in the West, the one in the South is the Seal of Solomon one. One in the West is like the fire triangle pointing up, water triangle pointing down, but they're disconnected from each other. Like, they're not connected. And then the one in the north is very weird. It's like a shape like an hourglass, and it's flipped upside down. So the water one, it's still pointing down, but it's on top. And the fire one is on the bottom, and they're connected by the points. Strange. You're going to have to read in the files. There's David Griffin's Ritual Magic Manual. That will tell you he tells you every single little nuanced thing that a Golden Dawn magician would do for every single one of these rituals. And except for like how you draw them and the god names and the visualizations, you don't have to have any of the other shit. You don't have to have tools, robes, none of that. All that's, you don't have to say the Enochian key of a certain thing. Like, there's so much within all these rituals that is superfluous, but it was important to the Golden Dawn magicians back in the day. But it means nothing to me, and if it means nothing to me in my subconscious, then therefore it doesn't matter. If it matters to you that you have a sword and a wand and a disc and a cup and a robe, well, then you need that. But if you don't give a fuck about that shit, and you think it's ridiculous, you don't need it. And that goes for everything in magic. Everything that resonates with you, you keep. Things that don't resonate with you, you fucking throw away. And that kind of goes for everything in life. But specifically in magic, if it does not resonate with you, you don't need to do it. Cliff off rituals, for instance. I've already I've already seen all the horror that there is out. Like, I don't need to go through the tree of knowledge and death again. I did that shit when I was younger. So, like, I stopped doing Cliffoth rituals because I did not resonate with them. I didn't like the energy. I don't think that it's conducive to my mental health or anyone's mental health, really. You really need to be up on your motherfucking game to do Cliffoth shit. So that's just a warning for that. And if it doesn't resonate with you, don't do the shit. But yeah. David Griffin's Ritual Magic Manual. Vinny, I have a sneaking suspicion that you don't read much. At least the important text that you should be reading. So I'll give it to you like this. Liber O, Aleister Crowley's Liber O. You can just type Liber O in, and on hermetic.com or .org, it'll bring it up. That teaches you how to do all the Golden Dawn rituals, and it teaches you how to do thelemic rituals if you so cared or so desired to try those. I don't like them. I don't find power in them, but I'm not connected to Thelema. I'm not. I think Aleister Crowley was a cool dude. You know, while he was in the Golden Dawn, he was like a very cool dude. He did all of his best works, I think, while he was in the Golden Dawn. And that was before he became this crazy fucking person that was like declaring that he was like, he had the word of the law and all this shit. And when he was in the Golden Dawn, he was a regular dude. Very smart, bright, genius guy. That guy, Freda Perturabo, I like. Thelema can suck my dick. Thelema, the concept, true will, that's what that means. Thelema is a Greek word that means the true will, your dharma, what you're here to do. I fuck with that. But as far as like all the weird, just read Libro, you'll see it. They're weird rituals, they don't make sense. The thelemic rituals. Read that. Israel Regardie's Black Brick, or rather, it's called the Complete Golden Dawn series by Israel Regardie. Read that. Angels and Archangels by Damien Eccles. Read that. High Magic by Damien Eccles. Read that. And then for references, Ritual Magic Manual by David Griffin. I use that all the time. It's just to make sure that I'm drawing shit correctly. Because on the hexagram for planetary work, on the hexagram, on the top, there's 6 points. At the top point, that's Saturn. Then it goes Jupiter, goes Jupiter, Mars over here, Venus over here, the moon directly opposing Saturn, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, moon. Yeah. So Saturn and the moon. And then on the right side, it's Jupiter. On the left, it's Mars. And then on the bottom right, it's Venus. On the bottom left, Mercury. in the middle of the thing of the where the two triangles meet, that's the sun. You have to invoke all the other planets to invoke the sun, or to banish the sun and banish all the other planets. All right, and then there's another ritual called the Septagram ritual, which is a dope ass ritual. It works well. It's a 7-pointed star, so you can actually invoke the sun that way without doing 24 other fucking hexagram rituals, which is what you have to do normally. So I do that for the sun. There's also the unicursal hexagram, which is it's the one that it's the sigil for Thelema. Never mind about that. But those books I told you, read those books, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. And then I've made like 200 videos or some shit on all this stuff. So I would advise possibly looking at my website and my fucking YouTube. Alright.